Hi everyone. Today I am going to discuss about the medical surgical nursing for the GNM second year students. So today we are going to discuss about the unit 9 nursing management of patient with musculoskeletal disorders. So the nursing management for the musculoskeletal disorders. So it is unit 9 for the GNM second years, and there is a subject is MSN 2 medical surgical nursing 2. So in this unit 9, so first we will discuss about the introduction. There is the musculoskeletal system consists of the joints and the tendons and the ligaments and bones and bursae and in the body. So the introduction, it includes the musculoskeleton consists of bones and there is a joints. So the joints can be articulate between two bones. So joints means there is a articulation between the two bones. It is called as joints, and there is a tendons. Tendons means there is a fibrous connective tissue and it helps to connect the muscles to the bones. So it is called as tendons. So there is a consists of musculoskeleton system consists of joints and the tendons. Joints means there is a articulation between the two bones, and there is a tendons means there is a fibrous connective tissue which helps to muscles to connect to the bones. So which helps to the muscle to connect to the bones. It is a fibrous connective tissue, and there is a ligaments. So tendons, it is also like the ligaments. So ligaments and tendons become similar. So ligament also there is a help for the, it is a connective tissue, and the ligaments can be helps for the two long bones too. It can be helps the end of the muscles can be connected by the bones. So end of the muscles, end of the bones, and it can be connected by the muscles, and there is a ligament means it is a connective tissue and it can be covered by the muscles, and the end of the bones can be covered by the muscles, and there is a bones and the bursae. So bursae, it means there is a fluid filled sac. So the fluid filled sac like cavity. So bursae means there is a fluid filled sac like cavity. So it is become filled with fluid. So it is called as bursae, and the main function of this bursae is there is a reduce the friction. It can be occur by the movement of the muscles and the tendons. So it can be reduce the friction. It can be caused by the muscles and tendons, and it can be reduce the friction between the bones, and it can be caused by the muscles and tendons. So it is called as bursae. So the musculoskeleton system consists of joints and the tendons and the ligaments and bones and the bursae in the body. So in this musculoskeleton system, so total body in this the body, the 40 to 50% weighs muscles. So 40 to 50% of muscles can be in the body. So 40 to 50% of muscles weighs in the body, and which produce heat and movement by the contraction. So because of the contraction of the muscles, and there is a production of the heat, and so production of the heat. So the muscles can be attached to the bones, and it can be help for the movement of the joint. So it is the main function of the musculoskeletal system. So it is about the introduction. It is the musculoskeletal system consists of joints and the tendons and the ligaments. So joints means there is a articulation between the two bones, and there is a tendon means it is a fibrous connective tissue, and it can be help the muscles to connect to the bone, and the tendons and ligaments become similar. It is also ligament also connective tissue. It helps for the connection of muscles to the bones. And there is a bursary means there is a fluid filled sac like cavity. So the bursary it is become filled with the fluid. So it can the main function of the bursary is it reduces the friction between the joints. So between the bones it can be reduce the friction by the movement of the muscles and the tendons. So in the body 40 to 50% of waste about the muscles, and it can be produce the heat and the movement by the contraction. So because of the contraction of the muscle there is a movement can be occur and heat can be produced by the muscles. So it completes the introduction about the musculoskeletal system. Next one is types of muscles. In these types of muscles there is a 3 types. First skeletal muscles and the cardiac muscles and the smooth muscles. 3 types: skeletal muscle and the cardiac muscle and the smooth muscle. So it become 3 types. The muscles of the musculoskeletal system includes the 3 types. First one skeletal muscles and the next one is cardiac muscles and the third one is smooth muscles. So skeletal muscle it is attached to the bones of the skeletal by very thin extension of the tendons. So skeletal muscles means it can be attached to the bones of the skeleton. So it can be attached to the skeletal muscles can be attached to the bones by a very thin extension of tendons. So very tendons there is a help for the muscles to attach the bones. So by the tendons the skeletal muscles can be attached to the bones, and the muscles are under voluntary control of nervous system. So in the skeletal muscles it can be help for the movement of the joints. So it can be controlled by the nervous system. So there is a movement occur in the skeletal muscles. The movement can be controlled by the nervous system. So but some are controlled by the somatic division of the peripheral nervous system. So there is a control of the movement can be occur by the nervous system. So the movement can be controlled by the nervous system and some of the can be controlled by the peripheral nervous system. So peripheral nervous system it can be situated outside of the brain and the spinal cord. So it can be controls the movement of the skeletal muscles. So the peripheral nerves can be situated outside of the brain and the spinal cord. It can be helps for the movement of the skeletal muscles. So skeletal muscles can be attached to the bones by the tendon. So there is a muscles are under voluntary control of nervous system. There is a movement of the skeletal muscles can be controlled by the nervous system, and there is a next contraction of muscles occur in the sarcomere. So sarcomere it is a nothing but it is a unit can be it is a important it is very important unit in the striated connective tissue. So it is an important unit in the bones and it is a striated connective tissue. So there is a contraction of muscles occur in the sarcomere. So there is a contraction of the muscles can be occur in the sarcomere. Sarcomere means it is very important unit in the bones and it is become striated connective tissue. So there is a contraction can be occur in the sarcomere. And next one is skeletal muscle composed of many individual muscles cells called muscle fibers. So skeletal muscles can be consist of there is a many individual fibers. So the muscles can be consist of many individual muscles called as there is a muscle fibers. So skeletal muscles can be consist of individual muscle cells called as muscle fibers. So it is about the skeletal muscles. Skeletal muscles means there is a attachment of the muscles to the bone by the tendon. So the voluntary action can be occur in the skeletal muscles by the control of the nervous system. Say and there is a sum of the controlled by the somatic division of the peripheral nervous system. So there is a peripheral nervous system can be situated outside of the brain and the spinal cord. So it can be helps for the movement of the skeletal muscles in the bones. And next one is there is a contraction of the muscles occur in the sarcomere. Sarcomere, it is nothing but there is a important unit in the bones and it is a straightened connective tissue. So it is become the contraction can be occur in the sarcomere. And next one is skeletal muscles composed of many individual muscles called as muscle fibers. And next one is cardiac muscles. So next one is cardiac muscle. It is involuntary and exists only in the heart. So the cardiac muscles become involuntary. So there is no movement in the cardiac muscles and exists only in the heart. So the cardiac muscles can be present only in the heart. So there is no movement in the cardiac muscles and there will be present in the only heart, and it is composed of branch and striated muscle cells having only one nucleus. So the branched muscle cells can be consist of only one nucleus. So the muscles having the branches. So the branches of muscle cells can be consist of only one nucleus. So it is about the cardiac muscles. So cardiac muscles become involuntary. Involuntary means there is no movement in the cardiac muscles and there can be present only in the heart. So the cardiac muscles only present in the heart and there is a composed of branches of muscle cells. So in this muscle cells only consist of only one nucleus. So it is called as cardiac muscles. And next one is smooth muscle. Next is the smooth muscle. So smooth muscle, it is become involuntary and is present in the hollow organs. So smooth muscles become involuntary. Involuntary means there is no movement in the muscles. So the smooth muscles can be involuntary. Involuntary means there is no movement in the smooth muscles. So and is present in the hollow organs. Hollow organs, it is nothing but the hollow organs can be the internal organs. So it forms the hollow tube. So hollow tube, it can be forms the hollow tube. So the hollow organs means there is a internal organs and it can be forms the hollow tube. For example, if you are taking fallopian tube, so it consists of tube and fallopian tube, and urinary bladder, it is also one tube and it consists of pouch like structure. So it stores the urine in this pouch. So like that only urinary bladder and the fallopian tubes and the small intestine, and the small intestine also it consists of one tube. So small intestine and the large intestine and colon. So it all organs consist of the tube. So it is called as hollow tube. So the smooth muscles it is involuntary and it is present in the hollow organs. Hollow organ, it is nothing but there is a formation of hollow tube. For example, fallopian tube and the urinary bladder and the esophagus and the small intestine and the colon. So it is about the smooth muscles. And there is a next skeletal system divided into two categories. So the skeletal system can be divided into two categories. It includes the axial and the appendicular. So axial means it can be situated center of the body. So it is called as axial. So next appendicular means it can be related to the limbs. So axial means it can be situated center of the body. So in this axial it includes the skull and the thorax and vertebral column. So there can be axial skeletal system. So axial skeletal system consists of skull and the thorax and the vertebral column. And next one is appendicular. So appendicular means there is a appendicular skeletal system. It related to the limbs and it includes the extremities and there is a pelvis and the shoulder. So there is a extremities, upper and lower extremities, and there is a pelvis and the shoulder. So shoulder bones and the pelvic bones and the upper and the lower extremities can be included in the appendicular skeletal system. So skeletal system includes the two categories. First one is axial and the next one is appendicular. So axial, it can be situated or located center of the body. In the axial skeletal system consists of skull and the thorax and the vertebral column. And next one is appendicular. It consists of bones of extremities and the pelvis and the shoulder. So it can be related to the limbs and it includes the upper and lower extremities and the pelvis and the shoulder. So it is about the skeletal system. Next there is a classified and basis of shape. So according to the shape of the bones, there is a classification for the bones. So there is a classified and basis of shape. So according to the shape of the bones, there is a classification includes the long bones and the short bones and the flat bones and the irregular bones. So there is a 4 types of bone according to the base shape of the bones. So there is a long bones and the short bones and the flat bones and the irregular bones. So there is a long bones means there is a long become long and found in upper and the lower extremities, and there is a includes the humerus and the radius, ulna and femur, etc. So there is a long bones, it is become very long and there is a found in the upper and the lower extremities. So long bones become very long and it can be found in the upper and the lower extremities. And for example, the humerus bone. So from the shoulder to the forearm, it is called as humerus bone, and the radius ulna bone, it can be situated here, radius and the ulna from the forearm to the wrist. So it is called as radius ulnar bones, and the femur bone, it can be situated in the lower legs. So it is called as femur bone. So the femur bone and the humerus bone and the radius ulnar bone become very long and it can be situated in the upper and the lower extremities. So it is called as long bones. And next one is short bones. So short bones, it is do not have long axis. So the short bones become very short. It does not have the long axis and they are a cubical. So short bones become the cubical shape. So it is become cube shape, and there is a includes the carpals and the tarsals. So carpals means in the wrist there is a some of the small bones, it is become cube shape. So in the wrist and the bones, it can be consisted, it is called as carpals, and the tarsals means there is a bones in the foot. So it is called as tarsals, and carpals and the tarsal can be consist of the short bones. So it is become cubical shape. So it is become cube shape and it is become very short and it does not have the long axis, and there is a carpals and the tarsals, for example, for the short bones. So next one is flat bones. So flat bones, it includes the ribs and the cranium and the scapula and the portion of the pelvic girdle. So the flat bones become very flat. So if you are taking ribs and there is a become very flat, and the cranium means the skull bones also become very flat, and there is a scapula, it can be situated backside of the shoulder, and there is a portion of the pelvic girdle. So pelvic means there is a pelvic area and the bone can be situated. So it is about the flat bones. So the flat bones become the very flat, and there is includes the ribs and the cranium and the scapula and the portion of the pelvic girdle. So it is about the flat bones. And the next one is irregular bones. Irregular bones, it is a facial bone and the pelvic and ear ossicles. Ear ossicles, the bones can be situated inside of the middle ear. So it is about the ear ossicles and irregular bones. The bones become irregular. So it can be facial bone and the pelvis and the ear ossicles. It is about the irregular bones. So there is a classified on the basis of shape. There is a 4 types of bones: long bones, short bones and the flat bones and the irregular bones. It is about the 4 types of the bones on the basis of the shape of the bone. So it completes the classification of bones. And next we will discuss about the gross anatomy of the bone. So gross anatomy of bone, it is a typical long one has a shaft. Shaft means it is nothing but long and become narrow. So the bone is become long and is a narrow. So it is called as shaft. And a typical long one has a shaft. Shaft means it is a long and a narrow. And 2 ends and proximal and the distal. And the atypical long one has a shaft. It is a next 2 ends, and 2 ends it is a called as there is a proximal and the distal. So proximal means it can be at a point of attachment. So the proximal means it can be point of attachment where the bone can be attached to the other bone. So it can be proximal. So the attachment of bone, point of the attachment, it is called as proximal. And the distal means there is a away from the attachment. So end part of the bone. So away from the attachment, it is called as distal bone. So there is a, it is also called as epiphysis. Epiphysis. And there is a atypical long one has a shaft. Shaft nothing but there is a long and narrow. It is also called as diaphysis. Diaphysis and 2 ends. And 2 ends it consists of proximal and the distal. Proximal means there is a point of attachment and distal means away from the attachment. So it is also called as epiphysis. Diaphysis and the epiphysis. And next one is the diaphysis is a hollow cylindrical of the cylinder of the compact bone that surrounds the medullary cavity. So medullary cavity, it is a medial part of the bone. So the medullary cavity can be surrounded by the diaphysis as a hollow cylinder of the compact bone. So the medullary cavity is nothing but medial part of the bone. It can be surrounded by the diaphysis. The diaphysis means it is a long narrow bone. So the diaphysis is a hollow cylinder. So the bone become hollow and there is a cylinder of compact bone. So the bone is become hollow and there is a cylindrical shape and there is a diaphysis and there is a long and narrow. It can be surrounds the medullary cavity of the bone. So medullary cavity, it is nothing but medial part of the bone. It can be surrounded by the diaphysis and is a hollow cylinder of the compact bone. And next one is bone are covered with a layer of connective tissue called as periosteum. So the bone can be covered by the periosteum. The bone are covered with a larger of connective tissue, layer of connective tissue called as periosteum. So the bone can be covered by the layer of tissue. It is called as periosteum. So the outer layer of the bone, it has called as there is a periosteum. Periosteum. So outer layer of the bone, it is called as periosteum. And next one is the outer layer is well supplied blood vessels and the nerves, and some of which enter bone through the Oakman's canal. So the outer layer means there is a periosteum is well supplied blood vessels and the nerves. So the periosteum can be supplies the blood vessels and the nerves to the bones. So and some of the enter bones through the Workman's canal. So some of the blood vessels and the nerves can be passed through the Workman's canal. So it is Workman's canal means it is a small channel. So small channel can be in the bone. By this Workman canal there is a passage of some blood vessels and the nerves by the Workman's canal to the bone. So some of the blood vessels and the nerves can be passed through this channel. It is called as Workman's canal. Workman's canal means it is a small channel in the bone. Workman's canal means there is a small channel in the bone. It can be Workman's canal. So there is a small channel, it can be present in the bone. By this Workman's canal there is a passage of blood vessels and there is a nerves to the bone. So there is a outer layer is well supplied blood vessels and the nerves to the bone, and there is a inner layer of bone by the bundles of collagen. So inner layer of the bone consists of the bundles of the collagen. So it is about the gross anatomy of the bone. There is a typical long one has a shaft and two ends. So shaft means it is a long and narrow. It is also called as diaphysis and the epiphysis, and diaphysis become a hollow cylinder of the compact bone that surrounds the medullary cavity. So medullary cavity of the bone can be surrounded by the diaphysis, and the outer layer of the connective tissue called as periosteum, and there is a outer layer is very supplied to the blood vessels, and there is a nerves, and some of which enter through the Workman's canal, and the inner layer of bone by the bundles of collagen. So it completes about the anatomy of the gross anatomy of the bone. So thank you.